NCAA college basketball for Sunday, November 20th. We have 5 games on the card today. Do not forget to check out SBR. Look for all the sportsbook review bonuses, sportsbook, just the sportsbooks, like which ones which ones you should join. Check out all the numbers we got there. Make sure to check out the sportsbooks you don't want to join. Great website, has all the articles, lots of reviews and things like that. So be sure to check out our website. We got 5 games on the card today. Right now we're sitting at 500. Still feeling it out. I think we're going to go ahead and progress nicely as the season continues. We start getting more information. Let's just jump right in. We got the early game right here. We got Yale versus Virginia. The oddsmakers have it at 130. I'm going to go under the 130. And this is all about Virginia. They rank number 1 in the country right now. Just 2 games, really. In points per game, allowing just 41.5 points per game. And we're going to see a slower tempo from them, from Bennett. That's what we're going to get with them. Their opponents so far just shooting, they're shooting under 30%. I mean, they're going to really put the clamps down on Yale, who's just gone nuts the first 2 games. But they played Washington and Lehigh, 2 up-tempo teams, and they've been great without their star. But tonight, though, I think Clemson comes in. Well, Clemson. I think Clemson's going to be my next one up. Yale's coming to Virginia, and they're both orange. Yale's coming to Virginia, and I think Virginia's going to put the clamps on them. So if I said Clemson a couple times, sorry about that. But it's Virginia we're talking about here. Virginia and Yale. I like under the total 130 here. I think Yale's going to have a really hard time scoring tonight. This afternoon. It's an early game. Next one up, we got Clemson and Oklahoma. Oddsmakers have it at 148.5. Seems about right with an Oklahoma team likes to get up and down, but do not sleep on how well Oklahoma can play D. I'm going to go under the total of 148.5, as well as Clemson. They have not played defense like they did last year. They were one of the best defenses in the ACC, the best conference in the country. Now, nobody healed for Oklahoma, but they still have a good core back. Lon Kruger's doing a nice job on the defensive side. Currently, they're allowing opponents, in just a couple games this year, against real competition, just shooting just a 38% from the floor. As well, you got Clemson surprisingly allowing opponents to shoot 44.6% from the floor. However, they played some pretty tough competition. Georgia, Davidson, and Xavier, all teams that could score. Xavier's no joke. Chris Mack does a great job with that team. So I think this game's going to be a little bit slower paced than people. Well, I don't know how slow the pace is going to be, but both these teams can play really good defense. I think we're going to see that in this matchup. So I'm going to back under the total of 148.5 between Clemson and Oklahoma. Next one up we got is Xavier and Northern Iowa. This is going to be a fantastic game. Ben Jacobson versus Chris Mack, and Xavier's loaded this year. Do not sleep on the Musketeers. They are really good this year. Right now they're averaging, let me get to the pick. Xavier, Northern Iowa, oddsmakers have it at 144. I'm going under the 144. This is predicated on Northern Iowa controlling the tempo, and I think they've done a good job in doing that so far this year. Xavier, they're averaging 84 points per game. They played okay competition so far. They're allowing 73 points per game. Now, Northern Iowa, they're getting up 77.5 points per game, but they're allowing just 65. So this number really has me off. You got 2 teams here combined, they're averaging about 80 points per game. But yet oddsmakers have set it very low at 144, and that's because both these teams and both these coaches play really good D. You got, right now, Northern Iowa, they are allowing opponents to shoot just over 39% from the field, and you got Xavier, they're allowing opponents to shoot just over 41%. These are 2 good defensive coaches. I don't think it's going to be really up and down. So 144 is actually just a bit too high on closer look when you examine it. And I think they're going to stay under this total. That's 3 underplays so far. Now we're going to get to the over. And you probably already guessed which one it is. Well, there's a couple. There's one ridiculous total out there. The Citadel taking on Iowa State. We're not looking at that one. That's like at 186 or something. That game's going to be bananas. Really fun game to watch, but that's not the one. We're looking at North Carolina State and Creighton. Oddsmakers have it at 160.5, and I'm going over. I think it's going to be a track meet. North Carolina State, dude, under Godfrey, they were 14th last year in scoring defense in the ACC. But offensively, they're fine. They're going to get up and down. They average 84 points per game. Creighton so far, and we know under McDermott, we already had them in over the other day versus Washington State. They love to get up and down. Now, neutral floor gives me a bit of a pause, but I think the way these two these two coaches function, and they both have really nice squads as well. I think we're going to get over this 160.5. That's a big total, but I think both teams are going to score over 80. North Carolina State, they're averaging 84 points per game. Creighton's averaging 90.3. You got Creighton giving up 75.3 points per game because they're going up tempo, and North Carolina State's allowing over 70. Defensively, not a lot going on either side. You got Creighton allowing about 44%, and they're shooting almost 53%. North Carolina State, they're allowing opponents to shoot over 46%, and they're shooting 55%. So I think these guys are going to get up and down. I think they're going to be able to score as well. So I'm going to back over the total with North Carolina State and Creighton 160.5. Big total, but I'm going to go over. And the last one, we're going back to an under. We got Villanova versus Central Florida. Johnny Dawkins has done a pretty good job so far with Central Florida. I mean, to start the season, now they got to take on Villanova, and that's going to be a nightmare. But it's 143.5, and I'm going to go under this total. Villanova is averaging 84.8 points per game. They beat Purdue. That was a great game. They beat Western Michigan handedly, and they also beat Wake Forest. Defensively, they're holding teams to 66.5 points per game. That's solid. As well, they're allowing opponents to shoot. They're allowing opponents to shoot. Look at the wrong spot. Under 44%. That's not that great, but they're still loaded. Then we look at Central Florida. Right now, they're averaging 75 points per game, but they're allowing just 52.3. Granted, we're talking about Mississippi State and the College of Charleston, basically, is who they played. Nicholls State, I'm not even going to count that. They're still counting the statistics, though. But what I like about UCF is they're allowing, right now, they're number 2 in the country in opponent shooting percentage at 29%. So Johnny Dawkins, former Duke guy who was at Stanford for a little while, obviously, and they're actually a little bit underrated. So UCF might be a little bit better this year. They were trying to go a lot of up tempo with their former coach. He was a guy who was an assistant at Florida. I can't remember his name, but now with Dawkins there, it seems like they're focusing a lot more on playing great defense. You got Villanova. They're not attempting that many per game, 57.2. And then you got Central Florida. They're getting up just 56.3. So I just don't see this getting up and down. I think both teams can play the defense, and I think we're going to see that tonight as well. It's on a neutral floor. So I'm going to go ahead and back under the total with Villanova and UCF. So I might have stumbled around a little bit. I'm still smoothing things out on these videos. A lot of games out there, 5 of them on the card today. Be sure to check out SBR. Let's recap one more time. We got Yale, Virginia, under the 130. Clemson, Oklahoma, under the 148.5. Xavier, Northern Iowa, under the 144. North Carolina State, Creighton, over 160.5. And finally, Villanova, UCF, under 143.5. And I wish you luck on your picks today.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.